Today, I'm going to be showing you guys every single college campus in North Carolina. How's it going? My name is Ashton, and I'm back as your little tour guide today. But this is like no tour we've done before. I mean, I've said it a million times before, but when it comes to picking the right college, the campus is by far one of the most important parts of making your decision. I mean, the college you pick is going to be your home for the next 4 years. So it's crucial to make sure that the school's campus is the perfect fit for you. And just trust me, I took these campuses very seriously. When I was looking at colleges, I made it a point to go around and literally tour every single school that I applied to. And even though most of the schools I toured were in Florida and Boston, I did end up having a few schools in one of the most iconic states out there. North Carolina, baby. I mean, from first sight, North Carolina was a match made in heaven. From the amazing weather to the beautiful greenery, I knew that whatever school I toured, I would get this amazing sense of nature like no other college. Every weekend was a brand new adventure, and I had the time of my life doing it. And after touring over 10 schools all across the Southeast, I was more confident than ever about what I wanted out of a college campus. But there was still one big issue that kept me from going all in on the perfect school. And that was these guys right here. I mean, every school I would go to, these amazing tour guides would tell me just how good their campus is compared to every other school out there. But they would never really tell you the downsides that came with their amazing school. So after spending hundreds of dollars on gas, I became extremely overwhelmed by all the good things these schools had to offer. And I became even more conflicted on where I wanted to go. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here to show you guys every campus in North Carolina, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'm gonna give you guys the truth that these tour guides never tell you. So it usually takes a ton of money and weeks to do, I'm gonna do in less than 15 minutes completely for free. So I mean, you guys should definitely give this video a thumbs up. But we have a ton of schools to see and not a lot of time to do it. So I'll meet you in the car to give you guys a little rundown. Oh hey, long time no see. So obviously when it comes to picking the right college, there's a lot to take into consideration. But lucky enough for you, I rated each college based off of 5 essential things on a scale of 1 to 10. So the first thing I based it off of was the aesthetic. So like how pretty the buildings are, how clean the campus is, and really anything along those lines. The second thing I based it off of was convenience. So like how easy it is to get from one side of campus to the other. The amenities, so like shops, restaurants, and anything that has to do with everyday life. Things to do on and around campus. And last but not least, the realistic rankings from the students themselves. And after adding everything up, we have a final score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst school out there, and 10 being your future home, baby. But now that we have all the math covered, it's time to go on a little campus tour. So coming in at our number 6 spot on our list, we have Wake Forest University. Located right outside of Winston-Salem, Wake Forest is by far one of the most quaint campuses on our list. I mean, all around campus, you have the beautiful red brick buildings that give off that historic colonial vibe. And to be honest with you guys, since we've gotten here, it's really felt like a nice relaxing getaway from all the craziness in North Carolina. Wake Forest is also super connected to nature, so all around campus you're gonna find a ton of open fields. And when you're done taking a nice scenic stroll, this place is super easy to navigate. Everything around campus is pretty condensed, with each part of campus having its own little cluster. So getting to class every day is super easy. I mean, on the outside, you're gonna find all your resident halls like Dogwood and Polo. Around the courtyard, you're gonna find all your classroom buildings such as Reynolds Library and Renolda Hall. And right in the center, you're gonna find the staple of Wake Forest, the Wade Chapel. Along with the convenience, Wake Forest is a Power 5 athletic school, so sporting events are a pretty big deal here. And if you make your way to the east side of the chapel, you're gonna find all your athletic facilities such as the Manchester Athletic Center, Gene Hooks Field, a whole ass golf course. But if that wasn't enough to impress you, you can check out Truist Field, where Florida State beat some Demon Deacon ass, baby. I know. Even in North Carolina, we gotta slip in a Florida State joke here. But you know what? It's still a very nice stadium. The only downside is that on the inside of campus, there's not too many chain restaurants, and on the outside, there's really not much to do. But I mean, considering everything else you have here, a little drive to Cookout really isn't that bad. So with all that being said, Wake Forest comes in at a very nice 6.7 on our list. But if you're looking for a place that has a little more action to it, then ECU is the perfect place for you. Jumping all the way over to the opposite coast of Wake Forest, ECU may be the most modernized campus on our list. Located right in the heart of Greenville and about 45 minutes from the beach, ECU's campus gives off that futuristic vibe like it's straight out of a movie. I mean, all around campus, you have the red brick buildings mixed with a nice touch of concrete to really make this place stand out like no other. Along with the unique aesthetic, ECU's campus has no major roads that cut through it, so it feels nice and closed off. And most of all, it's super easy to get around. While you're on campus, some of the big icons to check out are the Joyner Library, ECU Mall, and the one and only ECU Student Center, which brings us perfectly into all the amenities that ECU has to offer. I mean, ECU has everything you could ask for when it comes to restaurants, and from a Chick-fil-A to a Raising Cane's to even a freaking McDonald's on campus, I think it's safe to say that chain restaurants are the least of your worries here. And if all these chains weren't enough to convince you, they also have Uptown Greenville, where you can find a ton of local restaurants, a Krispy Kreme right across the street, and the best one of them all, they have a freaking Sheetz literally right next door. And I mean, as a Florida boy, you can't get much better than this. The only thing that knocks ECU ECU down is that some of the dorms are a little walk away from the main campus, but on the bright side, it is like its own little neighborhood out there, so taking the walk to class every day may not be too bad. And I mean, they have a freaking archway that sings to you when you walk through it. So you know, it definitely checks out. And after taking everything into consideration, ECU comes in at a very nice 6.9 on our list. But believe it or not, there's still some even prettier campuses out there, like Elon University. Located about 30 minutes outside of Greensboro, Elon really brings together everything you could possibly look for in a campus. I mean, all around campus, you have the beautiful red brick buildings, and they also incorporate a ton of modern elements to give this place a new aesthetic vibe. So even though Elon's one of the smaller campuses on our list, all the cutting edge buildings really help this place to stand out against all the other schools. Along with the beautiful buildings, Elon incorporates a ton of different nature all across campus. So after a long day of work, you can just simply go outside and enjoy the greenery wherever you want to go. I mean, you have these amazing open fields, beautiful winding walkways, and my absolute favorite part about this campus, they have this nice little lake pond looking thing. But I mean, if this doesn't take your breath away, there's still a lot more to see on this campus. As far as convenience goes, Elon's a pretty small school, so it's super easy to navigate, and they have everything structured so it's almost impossible to get lost here. On the bottom side of campus, you have all your dining options like McEwing Dining Hall and a bunch of restaurants in the Union. On the top side of campus, you have all your sports fields bordering the beautiful lake, and if you go towards the middle of campus, you'll end up right back on the quad where you can take all your aesthetic graduation pictures. And even though it kills me to put Elon so far down on our list, there really isn't too much to do outside of campus, and the amenities aren't exactly the best. So with that being said, Elon comes in at a very solid 7.1 on our list. But if a smaller private school vibe really isn't your thing, then look no further than NC State, baby. Located right in the heart of Raleigh, we've officially entered the Research Triangle. And let me just say that NC State really fits that downtown vibe because this whole campus really feels like its own damn city. I mean, as far as the structure goes, NC State can be split up into East, West, and Central campus, with each part having its own very unique characteristics. On the east side of campus, you're going to find all your resident halls in the villages. On the west side, you're going to find all your sports fields such as Reynolds Coliseum, the Court of North Carolina, and the Memorial Bell Tower. But once you make your way towards the middle, this is where you're really going to find all the good stuff. On the bottom half of campus, you'll find the Tally Student Union, the Rec Center, and the Wolf Plaza. On the north side of campus, you'll find your iconic buildings such as the D.H. Hill Library, the 1911 building, and the one and only Hillsborough Street, which really brings NC State's amenities to a whole nother level. Literally right across the street from campus, you're gonna find a ton of different restaurants for anything you may need. I mean, you got Chipotle, Insomnia Cookies, Starbucks, and to top it all off, they have a freaking Target literally right across the street. Like, what? The only downside to NC State is that there is a railroad that goes right through the middle of campus, so getting around can be a little bit inconvenient. So with that being said, NC State brings in a very nice 7.8 on our list. But even though this place really checks all the boxes, it has some pretty tight competition out there from other campuses like UNC Chapel Hill. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, UNC's colors alone really put the school in the top tier position. Paved with the beautiful red brick roads and picturesque oak trees, UNC combines that Ivy League architecture with a classic Southern vibe. I mean, all around campus, you're going to find your iconic buildings such as the Wilson Library, the South Building, the Old Well, and the coolest part of campus, you have the Pit. And I mean, even though this place may not be very breathtaking on the outside, this place really checks all the marks as far as convenience goes. I mean, on one side, you have the Student Center and the bookstore. On the other side, you have Lenore Dining Hall. And to top it all off, you have the Davis Library, which is by far the biggest library I've ever seen. So I mean, anything you need, they pretty much have it here. As far as dining options go, UNC has your pretty standard options with 2 different dining halls. And on top of that, you have your classic chains like Alpine Bagels, Bojangles, and the best part of them all, they have a whole ass shopping area with a shit ton of restaurants. I mean, come on, you can't beat that shit. Located right at the top of campus, you have the iconic Franklin Street where you can find a ton of different chains, local favorites, and from what I've heard, they have quite the party scene up here. So I mean, as far as amenities go, this place really checks all the boxes. The only downside to UNC is that it is an older campus, so the inside of some of the buildings are a little bit run down, but balancing it out with the crazy architecture like this on the outside, and you get to wear Carolina blue every single day, I would definitely say it's a win-win. So with that being said, UNC comes in at a very nice 8.6 on our list, but there's still one school out there that just beat it out. So let's go check it out. So coming in at our number 1 spot on our list, we have the one, the only Duke University, baby! Woo! And obviously, the name of Duke alone already gives this place a ton of credibility, but also having a beautiful campus behind it definitely helps its case. Known for its iconic stone buildings and Gothic architecture, Duke's campus literally feels like you're walking through a European castle. I mean, right behind me is the Duke Chapel, which is by far the most badass building I've seen in all of North Carolina. So I mean, you really can't beat the aesthetic here. Along with the Duke Chapel, some of the most iconic places on campus are the Able Quad, Perkins Library, and the East Campus, where you can find a ton of cool buildings. Along with all the stone, Duke has also started to incorporate a lot of modern elements into the buildings. And in places like the Western Union, it's almost impossible to avoid being an academic weapon. And I mean, if you think the outside of this place is nice, just wait until you hear what's on the inside. As far as amenities go, Duke has been ranked as one of the best dining halls in the country, so all the options in the Woo really live up to the hype. I mean, on the inside, you could go to Il Forno for a nice pizza, Sazón for Latin American food, or if you're a picky eater like me, you could go downstairs and play it safe with some Panera. But after finishing up a very nice meal, you can head right on over to Krasuskieville to watch Duke get killed by Florida State. Okay, so I know I already made this joke, but I promise you, Florida State will win the Natty in 2024. I guarantee it. But all competition aside, if you go right outside the quad, you'll run right into Cameron Stadium with its own basketball museum, Wade Stadium, which is absolutely gorgeous. And if watching sporting events really isn't your thing, this place has its own damn garden. Like, what? From the rich tradition to the overload of amenities, great academics, beautiful aesthetic, and doing it all within the best city in North Carolina, Duke comes in at a whopping 9.6 on our list today. But even after touring all these amazing colleges, it's starting to make me miss Florida State 10 times more. So we'll meet you guys back in the house, and we're gonna wrap things up here. Hold on, check this out. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? So now that I've shown you every major North Carolina school, you guys are ready to take college admissions head on. And I mean, you're gonna be way better off than any of those cheesy tourists out there. I know that college tours can be a long and stressful process to go through, but hopefully this video helped to take a little bit of that stress off. And I saved you guys a ton of money in travel here. So with that being said, if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do respond to every single comment, so if you have any other questions or video ideas, make sure to leave them down below. I do have a playlist of everything you need to know about college, so if you want to go check it out, it'll be right here. And if you want to join the family of over 6.8 thousand subscribers now, you can click right here. And yeah, that's it for me this week, guys, and I will see you guys next week.